Mr. Michael Venom Page.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to see your face.
Yeah, well, you can't see my face on camera just as well because I'm looking a bit clapped right now. But anyway, the 3 letters behind you, man, UFC. I mean, we've talked about this for a very long time.
Yeah.
I knew that you said that this was something you wanted to do, you wanted to tick off before the career was done. I mean, how does it feel to finally be in the UFC, mixed martial arts type promotion?
It's weird. Like there's moments where it's like it's still a little bit surreal. There's moments like, oh man, I'm in the UFC, and then there's moments I kind of forget that I'm there, and then something will happen. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the UFC. So I don't feel I sign off as a UFC athlete until I've stepped in that cage, fought, and come out. Then I can really be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm here. You know what I mean? So I feel I have to wait for that moment, which is not far away.
What were the conversations like, Michael? Who reached out, and when you did start having those conversations? Was it phone? Was it email? Was it you? Was it agent? How did it go down?
How did it come about? In fact, initially, one thing that actually helped, I'd say, is the bare knuckle fight.
Mm-hmm.
So once I had signed that fight, or the fight was announced, I was doing the bare knuckle. I think Hunter reached out to Audi, like, does that mean he's a free agent? And he's like, oh no, not yet, blah blah, and explained. But just that action meant that, oh, these guys are interested. It's like, okay, it's good to know. And then obviously kind of let them know that we know we only had one more fight, and then we can kind of conversate then after. Obviously I had my fight. There's a certain term that you can't negotiate. I had to wait that term out. But I was just going around flirting with, seeing me at different shows and stuff. And then obviously, conversations when it was allowed to commence continued then after.
Did you really not sleep for 2 days before it was announced?
No, legit. It was back for, I probably slept about 3-4 hours in the 2 days, just because there was so much going on at the same time. Like I went to the Bisping show, I was literally at the Bisping show, and I had a conversation with PFL, straight followed by, Audi was in Vegas that day for another fight show. He had a conversation with Hunter. Like, there's a lot going on at the same time, so obviously the time difference. So when I finish, and it's funny because at Bisping show I was on stage and everyone's asking me questions like, where are you going? And I'm like, something's close. Can't say anything. So then got back home, and then I'm having conversations with Audi, and he's having conversations and getting back to me, and I'm just up on my phone, just like waiting for, and the different answers and questions and blah blah. And it's literally 2 nights. Because the next day I can't even remember what I had to do, but I was basically out again early, obviously training, and then just stayed out again for the whole day. But I don't know, I was just wired off positive energy, trying to figure out where I'm going. But yeah, I was up for quite a while.
Right, so
Thank you.
Kevin Holland, man. I mean, this on paper, this is a great fight and a great person to really welcome you to the UFC, because also he's going to give you some energy back.
Yes,
It's not going to be like well, let me choose my words carefully. He's not going to be a wet duck in terms of the fight build up, and in terms of stylistically the fight. So how excited are you to be welcomed back to the UFC by him?
Yeah, you know what? It feels like, okay, I'm happy because not only great fight, yes, but it means that the UFC are taking me seriously as well. So obviously being signed means that they have some form of respect for you, but you don't know to what level. When they gave me that opponent, it's like, oh, they really want me here. Not only just want me here, but they really gonna push that, which I'm happy for. This is exactly what I wanted when I had a conversation with Hunter. He's like, well, how do you see, if you are to be signed here, what do you see? How do you see it going? I was like, I just want to make noise, get me at the top, give me all the best. Because he was asking me questions. I was like, whoever you think is up there, that's who I want. And he's like, good. So it sounds like we're in the same, we're thinking the same way. And Kevin Holland's name comes forward, and I'm ready to go. As you say, beforehand, great build up. During the fight, probably turn a podcast into it, because both of us are going to be going back and forth. And then afterwards, I think there's going to be a lot of noise. With that fight, it's just going to be spectacular, I already know.
How closely have you followed his career, and what do you make of him as a fighter, and do you enjoy his sort of how outspoken he is, as you said, before and during fights as well?
Yeah, like, again, I would say I'm a fan of the sport, for one. So I watch a lot of these fights, and obviously UFC being what it is. I've seen and watched loads of these fighters and these guys. Kevin Holland being one of them. I remember him talking to Khabib when he outside. Yeah, teach me how to wrestle, man. I love that. Him knocking. I just forgot his name. From the ground. Yeah. Like a rare from the ground. Like loads of stuff he's done. You can just see he's a competent fighter. He's a tough guy. Can't struggle. He's a cockroach. Can't kill him. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try really hard. And yeah, so just like I said, it's just all around. Him by himself is an entertaining fighter. Me by myself, an entertaining fighter. Us together, yeah, I think that's a match made in heaven for a fight on the UFC.
Michael, what do you make of the people who say, I love that you're in the UFC, but I wish it had come 5 years sooner? Obviously, I think you turn 37 a month after the fight, right?
Yeah.
Do you wish it was sooner, or do you not really mind?
No, I don't care. It's for me, it's based on how I feel. And I put money to anybody, can go and speak to any one of my training partners, any one of my teammates, to say, do I feel that age? I don't think they're gonna say yeah. There's all these youngsters up and coming. It's like every single one of them will say, I'm only getting better. I've only gotten more sharper. I've only gotten more stronger. I've only gotten faster. So what's it to me what the age is? It's about the kind of effort that I'm putting to myself, my body. And I've been doing so much more to maintain the youth of my body as well. I'm actually doing extra than I would normally do. And I'm definitely feeling the positive effects of that. I think it's just eagerness. Timing is everything for me. It's meant to be now. It's meant to be that I was able to demand that little bit more in negotiations because of what I've achieved on the outside. It's meant to be that I get here and Kevin Holland is my first fight and not some random, and then I have to build myself up. I'm starting at the top. So it's happened for a reason. And and in Miami of all places as well, where my siblings are all at. So it's supposed to be now. I think everyone else is impatient, and I get why, but no, for me it's perfect.
I know you sparred with Leon. So.
Yeah, I've sparred Leon, I've sparred Johnny Walker, I don't believe any one of them would ever say anything negative about the spar. Which just shows you the level so I've always known my level. But yeah, it would be nice to prove it just because I'm a bit petty. I'm a lot petty, so yeah. I definitely would like to just kind of, just prove it, but they'll always have something else to say. So I can't worry about that, because then it would be, oh well, that he should have been there ages ago, because then maybe Kevin Holland would have been better. Everyone's got something to say. Like they do that with Mayweather. No matter what he did, there would be there's always a reason, or there's always somebody else he needed to fight to prove that he was the best. So even though that person wasn't the best, he still needed to fight the person that wasn't the best to prove that he was. I'm like, stupid maths I never get involved in. So it's more just about my journey and enjoying it.
Michael, you said obviously you feel great for your age and you think everyone around you would attest to that as well. Mm-hmm. But I also know you said maybe sometime over the last couple of years that there was once a time when for you it was like fighting was forever. Mm-hmm. But now you've begun to imagine opportunities and a life after fighting. I think I last spoke to you before your fight with Logan Storley, and you spoke about writing a script potentially for a TV show, and I think you might have worked on some more scripts and things since. Yeah, what are the things you're working on, when it comes to away from fighting?
There's loads. I think as you get older, you understand. I have to make sure. For me, the goal is that fighting is a bonus. If I have a fight, get paid for my fight, and hand it all over to charity, I'm okay. I'm fine. So I need to make sure that that's the case. Whereas back in the day, we're prize fighters, we're fighting for that money, and I don't want to be put in that situation, because when it does come to me deciding to step down, I don't want to be drawn back in because finances. I need to get that, or the drug of walking into a crowd and cheering name, and I call it a drug because it really is such an addictive feeling to walk. Because it's an amazing feeling, but it's such an addictive feeling to have to keep walking out, or to keep walking out to those crowds and wanting that again. And that's what we do it for. Obviously there were prize fighters, but all that hard training is that moment there when you walk out and the crowd's cheering your name, and you know, it's just that feeling. So yeah, the scripts is still going, as in we've developed most of it. We've just taken a slight sidestep and we're developing it as a comic, which is actually nearly finished now as well. The reason we were doing that is because funding in films is slightly different now. It's a bit more difficult. They prefer to film or fund things that have already existed, like name brands that have already existed that they're remaking, comics, books, or just, it makes it easier to guarantee there because it's already got a fan base. So I'm like, cool, we'll create a fan base by making a comic. We started that, like I said, nearly finished, and then we weirdly enough got somebody that's interested in funding the film anyway, but the series now anyway, sorry. But yeah, so all that kind of stuff. It's just extras, fun, priorities still fighting. I would never have these opportunities outside. I've always had a creative mind, but I wouldn't be given these opportunities if it wasn't for my priority, which is the fighting. So.
You mentioned the training partners, obviously, at Shoot Fighters, and in the last year or so, it's grown up a lot, blown up a lot because of KSI and other sort of influencers training there. What have you made of that? And given you've been training there for so long, is it good to see? Do they benefit the gym? What do you think?
Yeah, well, it benefits the gym in as much as more people are seeing it, more people are then being drawn to it, more people want to be in and around it, which means especially for like sparring partners and stuff, it just is great. Just dangle JJ as bait. People are like, oh, can we come do some work with him? Yeah, but you got to spar Michael. You know what I mean? So it's good. There's loads of positives to it, and our gym is notoriously known for the kind of hard, rough work that we do. So if anybody's there, nobody's getting it easy, like at all. Nobody cares about how famous you are outside the gym. Everybody's exactly the same. So when you get in there, I'm happily punch you in your face. Unfortunately, it's part of that thing. And you have to prove to me that you deserve to be there because you return the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And these guys have been doing that, and it's been great. And you're seeing their results. Regardless of, you know, win or lose, the fact that they are capable of being there, the shape that they look in, you can tell they're putting in the work, and they definitely are.
Sorry, just one more on that. I was going to ask, the karate stance that you have, it's almost gone crazy viral the last year because of the other people using it. And then everyone says, oh, KSI did it first, and they point to you, it's like, no, MVP did it first. What have you made of that? Because it's quite funny seeing your name come up time and time again when these fighters are almost replicating it.
Yeah, you know, it's a nice feeling. I don't need the credit. I know where it comes from. I don't need the direct credit. But it's nice. I was talking about earlier. It's almost like a proud father, like that I've gifted to people. There's guys like Norbert as well, Dr. Destal, Felix, same as a Dr. Destal. It's just nice that I've given something it's a gift that's going to keep on giving, regardless of where anybody knows where the source comes from. And it's just proud. Yeah, I feel like that's one thing I want to do, just give back to the sport, whether it be by drawing more eyes in or things like this, gifting, and I feel like I'm doing both, so it's good.
One of the things that I'd say the main highlights of your time in Bellator were your dynamic ring walks and post-fight celebrations. Now, the UFC are a lot more rigid in terms of walkouts. I don't think they're going to allow you to have Skepta walk you out over, and I don't know if they're going to allow you to have the Thanos hand. I mean, is that something that you're going to miss? And even still, are you going to try to sneak the Thanos hand in and somehow?
I prefer to ask for forgiveness than permission. So I can only be myself. I'm sure, you know, after I apologize a few times, they'll just be like, yeah, you can do it next time, that's fine. Yes, we want to organize how you do it. No, but in honesty, they seem very open to kind of allow me. Yes, they are rigid, but they seem a little bit more open. They kind of know what they've signed, and a little bit more open about allowing me to do certain things. So again, it's down to me to be creative again and make it work. But yeah, I'm not going to change.
On the topic of ring walks and celebrations, and you know, you mentioned the fight being in Miami and whatnot. Have you spent much time visualizing the night itself and what it will be like? I mean, it's such a stacked card. Obviously, a lot of people believe it's a better card on paper than 300.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you're quite with Kevin, obviously being a big part of that. The atmosphere is surely going to be, you know, up there with the biggest across any combat sport in the year. So, have you spent much time visualizing that, and what do you expect to feel on the night?
No, I'm trying not to overhype it. What will be by the end of it, and I can speak about it objectively and be like, I can see how it could be, amazing. But I've just got to be myself. I've got to play my bit, be myself, and I know I'll make noise anyway, because that's just what I do. But yeah, I just got to be myself. I visualize, in a sense, the fight side of it. The rest of it, it's not my business. That's a distraction. But the fight side of it, I visualize me walking in and seeing Kevin on the other side, and the shots that I'm going to land, and where I'm going to move, and how I'm going to position him, what I'm going to land to finish him. I've seen all of that. Past that point, it's just, I'm just looking forward to the whole show being spectacular, because there's some great names on there.
What do you think of the last few years? We've had some moments, especially I remember before Christmas with the Leon Colby fight, ugly lines crossed with the trash talk. You've seen it obviously from a distance. Now you're going into the UFC. Is that something you prepare yourself for? It doesn't seem there's any really boundaries there, and I know it's something you've spoken about in the past. That you have your celebrations and your viral moments, but none of them are sort of push that line. Would you agree?
I feel people are trying way too hard to get attention nowadays, in the wrong way. I'm all for banter and back and forth with the person that I get to, we get to duke it out, and then we get to hug it out afterwards. I can't disrespect your girl, your mom, your dad, your this or that, and we don't have the same. It's not the same relationship, not the same dynamic. If it's amongst two fighters, have at it. Call each other what you want. Past that point, it's just disrespectful, unnecessary, and I think just a beg for attention, and it's a sad way of getting attention as well. I think the fact that we're all in agreement that it's the wrong way of going about it, then this is where I feel like the UFC should step in. And again, we were talking about this in the gym. It has been a big topic for a lot of people. Like, where's the line? Do you know what I mean? But I think there's certain things that are just obvious. I don't think you need a clear black and white. Just, if I give you a fine for that, I guarantee you won't do it again. I guarantee you everybody will hear that person got fined, and they'll be like, yeah, probably won't do it. We won't say that kind of stuff then. So we'll just keep it to, disrespectful in a respectful way, just amongst that person. So I do feel like the powers that be should step in some way, shape or form, even if it's just behind the scenes. So let's say nobody knew that anything happened. If he got heavily fined, he's not going to do that again. So you just need to let that person know that it's not acceptable, and then everybody else can talk and be like, we know. But I feel that's always been an unwritten rule. I just think people are just trying too hard to get attention, and it's just the wrong way.
So just one more, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So how do you want your UFC run to be remembered? Are you here for a good time, not a long time, or like, when it's all said and done, when the UFC chapter of Michael Venom Page's career is closed, how do you want it to be remembered?
I think everyone has this legend trying to gain these tags and stuff. I just want to be known as probably the most entertaining combat athlete across the board. You just know that it's a show. When I show up, it's I also show out, and it's going to be a big show. And I want people to remember. I want that to be left there. Just the entertainment value of it. I want to inspire more people to utilize that kind of style, and also encourage them to be more showy in that arena, which means less people will start maybe running their mouth and stuff, or feel the need that because their fight's boring. No. Make your fight exciting, and then you won't have to do that on the other side. So I just want to be, just remembered for exactly that. I don't think we need to. I don't care about the legendary status. I think I get enough respect from a lot of people, and I respect myself most importantly. And I just want to. That's it, really. Just being known as the person that makes a lot of noise when he goes in is something that you just don't want to miss. and I just want to do it on the biggest stage, and I'm here now, ready to do that. So yeah, I always say the same thing: don't blink.
You bringing your Pokemon ball?
You know what? We had a conversation about this not too long ago, and I was like, there are certain celebrations that we may never see again. Obviously, you're going to do it online, blah, blah, blah. So I may have to reintroduce and remind people. So yeah, I'm going to apologize to the UFC about throwing a Pokeball at somebody. But at some point, not necessarily this fight, but at some point, you may see a few reminders of who I am.
Appreciate the time, man.
No problem. Thank you guys.